Making your own D&D campaign is so simple that I'm going to explain how to do it and then do it, all in about 10 minutes and one take. Because I'm Bob, this is where we learn how to have more fun playing RPGs together, and to make your own D&D campaign, start with these questions. Where is everybody? Who are they? What do they need/want? And why don't they already have it? To answer these questions quickly, we're going to use some random tables I made, and sure, that might seem weird, but random tables will give you the foundation of an awesome campaign in minutes. Then, if you want, you can spend the rest of your life adding more and more layers of detail that your players will never know exist. So starting with where, I like to think of any adventure setting as a combo of a big region with a primary or starting location. So for the region, think of Earth's major biomes: aquatic, grassland, forest, desert, and tundra. But we put those last two together because adventuring in extreme temperatures is rarely as fun as we think it will be, and these barren biomes don't have as many distinct variations as the others. So then we roll 2d4, we got our region. Awesome. Then for a starting location, we want our main characters to begin in a settlement and then venture into the wilderness. So we'll circle back to that wilderness part. Right now, just pick a settlement, like a city, town, village, or camp, and an establishment where our characters are hanging out right now, like a tavern, smithy, trading post, or at home. So that's 2 more d4s, and we're good. And as long as you can get the characters together quickly, feel free to use more than one establishment when you set this opening scene. But hey, if you really want to set any scene, check out this video's sponsor, James's RPG Art. James's Patreon is a virtual treasure trove of fantasy backgrounds and scenes designed to instantly enhance the immersion of your role-playing game sessions. Play them on a screen for your group at home, or share your screen when you're playing online. He's got many still images of in-depth scenes, animated versions of those scenes, day and night versions of those scenes, and animations with music and sound effects. Over 100 of these scenes were made for use with D&D published adventures, and there's tons more that can work with any fantasy campaign, and he's adding 4 new scenes every month, so check out the James RPG Patreon through the link below. Next, who the heck are these characters? RPGs like Cairn and Dungeon Crawl Classics both include instructions for generating random player characters, and in my personal experience, this can be a ton of fun. D&D does not include those instructions, but for D&D or just about any game you want to play, you can search online for free pre-made characters or for an automatic random character generator. Nice. Whichever method, make sure your players customize some details so they feel a connection to their characters, then have them decide how these unique fantasy characters all know each other and why they're coming together for this adventure. As for the bad guys, we just need a boss and some minions. Any of these 12 pairs of baddies work perfectly fine for a fantasy adventure. Cool choice. But that's not it, because we also need a third party, the contenders. These 1d20 types of guys are not necessarily evil, but they may have reasons for siding with the bad guys, or the good guys, or staying neutral, all depending on what those parties want and how they're trying to get it, which is number 3. For the bad guys, keep it simple by starting with what they need: the artifact, knowledge, money, servants, food/fuel, or status. This is the thing that they need to get the thing that they really want: love, revenge, transcendence, destruction, conquest, legacy, perfection, control, terror, expression. This want can even be used as an underlying theme for your campaign, and I think this particular list will help you create a good villain. As in a complex but not complicated bad guy, because check this out, warning for new game masters, your bad guy does not need a traumatic backstory or a morally gray justification for their actions. A, it's difficult to truly pull that off unless you're a professional writer, and B, it can spoil the player's fun when you turn defeating the bad guy into a philosophical debate rather than a simple matter of heroic justice, as in like just deservingly getting punched in the face simultaneously by all your good guys. And yeah, for the good guys, they want to stop the bad guy because they're evil, directly or indirectly. That guy's actions are hurting or will hurt innocent people or wildlife. But for one or two of the player characters, make it personal. One of their family members or friends was threatened, captured, or killed, or their home was or will be destroyed. This connection is your strongest hook, and it has more weight if you let the player choose it themselves. Finally, why don't they already have what they want? This obstacle is usually one of four things. Geography. The knowledge they seek is kept on the highest mountain peak in the region. Opposition. There's hordes of dangerous beasts or an army in their way. Timing. They can't perform the blood ritual until the blood moon rises. Or tools. They need this other thing before they can access the thing that they need to get the thing that they really want. A fetch quest, if you will. Often you'll come up with a handful of obstacles because some should only apply to the good guys, some to the bad guys, and some to both parties, and possibly even to those contenders we talked about earlier. Also, this is how we circle back to the where. Where is the boss? And where exactly is this thing they need? Pick a new region and a new settlement, or one of these wilderness sites. Good choice. Now, putting it all into action with some random results. Our good guys start in an aquatic region, specifically on or near a reef, in a city, at home. Our bad guy boss is an alien with colonist minions, and we also have a party of wolves. The boss needs food/fuel because they want perfection, but the obstacles are timing and geography, so let's say the aliens are waiting for a fall from power, and the heroes have to deal with magical corruptions. Where are these aliens? A prairie, in a cave. So using those random results, here's the campaign premise I scribbled out as fast as possible. These aliens crash-landed in this prairie hundreds of years ago, but the alien ruler was like, it's fine, we'll just live here now. So, they've been inhabiting and colonizing the caves under this grassland for centuries, only causing some problems with our local wildlife, the wolves of the prairie who live in some of these caves. But the bad guy, our boss alien, wants more. They don't want to live underground anymore, they want perfection. For them, this means they want to transform the prairie to be like their former home, and to do it, they need fuel, which happens to be the calcified ocean life that makes up the reef where our heroes live. What's the science behind that? I have no idea, and it doesn't matter, because now our hero's home/wildlife is threatened by the boss and minion aliens, and the party's obstacles are the magical corruption of their reef home, the alien colonist minions performing that corruption, and the wolves, which are now being pushed out of the prairie by the increased alien activity. And finally, when our alien boss collects enough of this corrupted reef food/fuel, they'll be able to demonstrate enough power and resources and this promise of perfection to the alien people, driving the downfall of the current peaceful ruler and taking over. That right there is enough conflict to drive at least 5 to 10 sessions of gameplay. Think of all the gameplay you could have just in that reef city with rumors of encroaching wolves. Now, it's just a matter of fleshing out a few notable NPCs and choice locations through which your heroes will experience this world, but even that part's easy, because when your players ask for the name of an NPC, you ask them to make it up. Then, don't just forget about... No way! Oh, I blew it right there. Dang it. Okay, I'm not even going to cut it. Just going to scroll back. So here we go. Then, don't forget about plugging in some interesting treasure or other rewards when the heroes deserve it. You can also see how to flesh out your campaign. Dang it, man. Now, how does Matt Colville do this? You can also see how to flesh out your campaign world using the methods of D&D's co-creator Gary Gygax in this video. So check it out and give this one a thumbs up if it helped you, and consider joining my Patreon, where you can get the free PDF of these random tables to build out your own campaign. And when you're checking out Patreon, do check out this video's awesome sponsor, James's RPG Art. Thank you for your support, and keep building. That still counts as one take, right? Bye.